Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson on integers. Today we will solve some word problems. Let's begin. So here we have the question. At Srinagar, the temperature was minus 4 degrees Celsius on Monday and then it dropped by 2 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. What was the temperature of Srinagar on Tuesday? And then on Wednesday it rose by 5 degrees Celsius. What was the temperature on this day? So in the first case they ask what is the temperature, what will be the temperature on Tuesday if it is dropped by 2 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. So temperature on Tuesday will be temperature on Tuesday will be equal to temperature on Monday, and the temperature further drops means will minus 2 degrees Celsius. So temperature, I'm writing short form, temperature on Monday minus 2 degrees Celsius. So the temperature is dropping further. So what was the temperature on Monday? That was minus 4 degrees Celsius. Then minus 2 degrees Celsius. Simply if we look it in the form of integers, it's like adding both the negative integers. So it will become 6 degrees Celsius. So the first part of the answer is 6 degrees Celsius, that is the temperature on Tuesday. Now they say on Wednesday it rose by 5 degrees Celsius. What was the temperature on this day? So now the temperature at present on Tuesday is minus 6 degrees Celsius. Now the temperature they say is rising. So temperature on Wednesday will rise. So we'll simply add 5 degrees Celsius to the temperature on Tuesday. What is the temperature on Tuesday? So temperature on Tuesday plus 5 degree Celsius, because the temperature is rising, right? So temperature on Tuesday is minus 6 degrees Celsius plus 5 degrees Celsius. Now there is a negative integer and a positive integer. So the integer, the greatest absolute value, that sign we are going to take. So negative sign will come here and we'll subtract the two. So 6 minus 5 will give us 1. So 1 degree Celsius. So temperature on Tuesday was this, minus 6 degrees Celsius. And what was the temperature on Wednesday? The temperature on Wednesday was 1 degree Celsius. Is that clear? Next. A submarine is floating 50 meters below sea level. It goes down a further 380 meters to a point A. Write down the depth of the point A below sea level. And second part, from the point A, it rises 120 meters to another point B. What is the depth of B below sea level? Okay, let's look at a diagram. So consider this the sea level. Let's say this is the sea and this is below the sea and this is above the sea. So if we try to measure the height at the sea level, exactly here it will be 0 meters, and below that we'll have, let's say, negative 10 meter, this height negative 20 meter. So all the measurements down below the sea level will be negative and above the sea level will be positive, like positive 10 meter, or simply we can say 10 meter, 20 meter, and so on. So here we have a submarine that is floating 50 meter below the sea level. So let's erase this part and just understand this. Now let's imagine this to be a submarine that is floating 50 meters below the sea level. Okay, and let's follow the first part of the question. Says it goes down a further 380 meter to a point A. It goes down further to a point A, that is 380 meter further. It means we have to increase 380 meter more. So it goes down further by 380 meter. So here it was 50 meter. Now further we'll increase it by 50 meter, means we'll just add them 50 plus 380 meter. That will be the depth, right? So we can find that out. And then from point A it rises 120 meter to another point B. So when it reaches that point A, so we do not know this point, let this point be A. So when we add it up, we'll get the result here. And then it rises 120. Rises means it goes up, so it will rise up. So by how much? By 120 meter. So what are we going to do? We're going to increase 120 meter. Means whatever the answer will be here, it will be negative. The length will be given as a negative number, right? And we'll add 120 meter further, and then we'll get the point where it is supposed to go. So we'll add further 120 to it, and we'll come to know the measurement of point, or you can say depth of point B. So what is the depth of B below sea level? We'll be able to find. Is this clear? Let's do it. So solution. We can say depth of point A below the sea level will be equal to, now the submarine was already at 50 meter below the sea level and it goes down further 380 meter. So we'll simply add 380 meter. That will become 430 meter below the sea level. So we can say hence the depth of point A below the sea level is 430 meter, or we can say the depth of point A is 430 minus 430 meter. Now why minus 430 meter? Because below the sea level we take in term of negative. The distance is taken in terms of negatives. So we can simply write the depth of point A is minus 400 and negative 430 meter, or if we use the term below the sea level, then we can simply say 430 meter. Clear? Now let's look at the next part of the question. From the point A, it rises 120 meter to another point B. what is the depth of B below the sea level. Now it came to 400. If we if the submarine goes down further to 380 meter, it comes to a level of minus 430 meter, or you can say 430 meter below the sea level. Now it further rises. Now it does not go down, but it rises by how much? By 120 meters. So what will you do? You will simply add 120 meter to the current depth, that is point A. So let's do it. So now part 2 of this question. From point A it rises to, so we know the depth of point A is minus 430 meter or negative 430 meter. So we can say depth of point B will be equal to how much? Depth of point A plus 120 meter, right? Depth of point A plus 120 meter. So depth of point A is minus 430 meter plus 120 meter. We'll just add it. So minus 430 plus 120 means the negative sign is greater. So negative sign will remain here and we'll subtract the 2. So 430 minus 120 will give us 310. So minus, or you can say negative 310 meter. So the depth of point B will be negative 310 meter, or simply we can say hence depth of point B is, or you can say hence depth of point B below the sea level is 310 meter. Clear? Okay, let's move on to the next question. In a quiz, the team X scored minus 40, 90, 0, 30 and negative 70, and the team Y scored respectively 75, 30, negative 50, negative 70 and 10 in 5 rounds. So overall there were 5 rounds in a quiz, and this was the scores of team X, and these were the scores of team Y. Now find the scores of the two teams, and then what was the margin by which the victorious team won? Means the winning team, victorious team means. So let's do the first part of the question. Solution: find the scores of the two teams. So scores means finding the total of their scores. So let's first find the score of team X. The score of team X will be equal to the sum of all these scores, right? Of all the 5 round scores. So negative 40 plus 90 plus 0 plus 30 plus negative 70. Now what will it become? So negative 40 will remain negative 40, positive 90, then 0 plus 30, then negative and a positive sign. So it will become, it is like multiplying. So when you multiply a negative integer by a positive integer, the result is negative. So here when we open the brackets, the result will be negative. So negative 70. Now simply we can do the operation. So positive 90, and so let's bring all the positive integers to one side and take the negative integers to one side. So 90 plus 0 plus 30, negative 70, and bring negative 40 to the other side. Let's add the positive integers together. So 90 plus 0 plus 30 will result in 120. Then the negative integers will be added together. So negative and negative together will be negative 110. 70 plus 40 will result in 110. So this will be equal to 120 minus 110 will give us 10. So this is the final score of team X in the quiz, right? Then we have to find the score of team Y. So score of team Y will be equal to the sum of all these scores, that is 75 plus 30 plus negative 50 plus negative 70 plus 10. Now let's open the brackets there. So negative and positive will become negative 50, and then negative and positive will become negative 70 plus 10. Now let's bring all the negative integers together. So 75 plus 30 plus 10, negative 50 and negative 70. Let's add them up together. 75 plus 30 plus 10 will give us 115, right? And then we add the negative integers together. So negative 50 and negative 70 will give us negative 120, right? So 115 is a positive integer and this negative 120. So which one is greater? 120 is greater. So we'll bring a negative sign, and 120 minus 115 will give us 5. So the answer is negative 5. So the score of team X is positive 10 and the score of team Y is negative 5. Let's look at the next part, second part of the question. What was the margin by which the victorious team won? Margin means the difference between the score of the two teams. It means we'll subtract the score of team X and the score of team Y. Let's do it. So we can say, what was the margin of by which the victorious team won? The margin by which the victorious team won, you can say, is equal to score of team X minus score of team Y. That is equal to, what is the score? What was the score of team X? 10, and score of team Y negative 5, right? So we'll subtract and find the difference. And now here we see we have a negative integer and a negative sign. So positive integer minus a negative integer, integers with the opposite signs. What do? We find out the absolute value. We simply change the addition and the signs of the integer changes, right? So it will become 10, negative and negative change into positive 5, so it will become 15. So you can say the margin by which the victorious team won is 15. It is the answer. Clear? Let's look at another question. In a class test containing 15 questions, 5 marks are awarded for every correct answer, negative 2 marks for every incorrect answer, and 0 marks for questions not attempted. So in a class test, there are total 15 questions and 5 marks will be given for every correct answer, negative 2 marks will be given for every incorrect answer, and 0 marks for not attempting the question. So first part says Raju gets 6 correct and 6 incorrect answers. So 6 correct answers and 6 incorrect answers he get. What is his score? So let's find out his score. So he got 6 correct, means each contains 5 marks. So let's find out solution. Let's find out Raju's score. So he gets 6 correct answers. So let's find out the score that he gets for giving 6 correct answers. So we can say Raju's score for 6 correct answers will be equal to, so for every 6 correct answers or every correct answer he receives 5 marks. So 6 correct answers he gave. It means 6 times 5. That will give us 30 marks. So Raju scored 30 marks for 6 correct answers. Now he gave 6 incorrect answers also. So for incorrect answers, let's find the score. So Raju's score for 6 incorrect answers. So for incorrect answers, how many marks is awarded? Negative 2. So we'll simply multiply by negative 2. So that will result in negative 12. So for 6 incorrect answers, Raju got negative 12. Now we can find the total score. So what is the score now? We'll just sum it up, add them up. So we can say, therefore Raju's total score is equal to the scores of correct answers and the score of incorrect answers. We just add. So 30 plus negative 12 simply means what? Negative and positive will make negative. So negative 30 minus 12, that will give us 18. So what is Raju's total score? 18. This is the answer for the first part. Now let's go through the second question. So Manish gets 7 correct and 8 incorrect answers. What is his score? So here let's find the score of Manish for 7 correct answers. So we can say Manish's score for 7 correct answers will be equal to 7 times what is the score for each correct answer? 5 marks. So 7 times 5, that will give us 35 marks. So Manish's score for 7 correct answer is 35. Then Manish's score for 8 incorrect answers. Manish's score for 8 incorrect answers will be equal to 8 times what is the score for incorrect answer? -2. So times -2, that will give us -16. Now let's find Manish's total score. Therefore Manish's total score will be equal to 35 plus -16, 35 plus -16. Simply we can say negative and positive will become negative. So 35 minus 16, that will give us 19, right? That will be the answer. Clear? Let's move on to the next question. An elevator descends into a mine shaft at the rate of 6 meters per minute. The descent starts from 10 meters above sea level. Where will it reach in 20 minutes? And how long will it take to reach a depth of negative 350 meter? So that elevator, you can say, descends into a mine shaft, means going into a mine. Let's understand this with the help of a diagram. Let's take this to be a land nearby, and let's take this as the sea level. Sea level. And then let's think of this as the elevator which goes down, okay, into this mine. Okay, so here this elevator, suppose this person is inside the elevator, so this elevator goes down, okay, descends at the speed of 6 meters per minute. So it goes down 6 meters per minute. And in the question they have already given that the descent starts from 10 meters above the sea level. So this elevator is already 10 meters above the sea level. So the sea level is still here. So you can say it's already 10 meters above the sea level. So distance from here to here is, you can say, 10 meters above the sea level. And then they ask us, where will it reach in 20 minutes? So here we already know the speed and the time is given. The time is given in 20 minutes. So 1 minute, may we know it goes 6 meters. So simply applying the formula of speed, distance and time, we'll get the distance, or you can say the depth it will go in 1 minute, in the total distance that it will travel down. So distance will be what? Speed into time. So easily we can find the first part of the question. Where will it reach in 20 minutes? Next part, how long will it take to reach a depth of minus 350 meter? So the elevator is here. How long will it take to reach a depth of, let's say, let's extend this here and say this is minus 350 meter. So how much time it will take to travel this distance? Now 350 meter is from the sea level, right? From the sea level it is 350 meter. Okay, so 350 meter minus 350 meter means below the sea level it is 350 meter, and then above the sea level it is 10 meter. So total distance from here to here will be 10 meter plus 350 meter. That will be the total distance from here to here, right? So the distance you know, then you know the speed that the elevator takes to travel. So we'll be able to find the time, how long will it take to reach this depth minus 350 meter, right? Let's do it. So solution, first part let's solve. Where will it reach in 20 minutes? So speed of the elevator is equal to 6 meters per minute. Now where will it reach in 20 minutes? So we can say distance traveled, or we can say distance descended in 20 minutes will be equal to, you know, distance is what? Speed into time. So simply we can say 6 meters per minute into 20 minute. The units are same, we can multiply. That will result in the distance meters. So it will be equal to 120 meter. Now remember, this is the distance traveled by, or you can say descended by, the elevator in 20 minutes. But the question is asking where will it reach in 20 minutes. So in terms of the sea level, you have to say the measurement. So 120 meters from the elevator, from the present position of the elevator is 10 meters above the sea level, right? The descent starts from 10 meter above the sea level. So in terms of sea level, where will this 120 meter be? So simply we'll subtract 10 meter that was above the sea level. So we can say distance descended by elevator below the sea level will be equal to the distance traveled, or you can say distance descended, minus that distance 10 meter above the sea level. So 120 minus 10 will give you 110 meter. So distance descended by elevator below the sea level is 110 meter. So we can say hence the elevator will reach a depth of 110 meter below the sea level, or we can say, or hence the elevator will reach a depth of minus 110 or negative 110 meter in 20 minutes. Clear? So minus negative 110 meter, why? Because it is below the sea level. Directly we can say minus 110 meter, or if we are using the term below the sea level, then we can simply say 110 meter below the sea level. So I hope this is clear to you. Now let's look at next part of the question. So how long will it take to reach a depth of minus 350 meter? So what will be the distance that the elevator has to travel, or the distance to be descended? So you can say distance to be descended or traveled will be equal to how much? Now this is negative 350 meter, which means 350 meter below the sea level. But where the elevator is, it is 10 meter above the sea level right now. So total distance that the elevator has to travel will be 10 meter plus 350 meter below the sea level. So total distance will be 10 plus 350 meter, that is 360 meters. That is the total distance that the elevator has to travel to reach minus 350 meter. So the speed is already given. Speed of the elevator, that is equal to 6 meters per minute. Now we have the distance, we have the speed. They have asked how long will it take to reach a depth of minus 350 meter. So simply we can say time to be taken will be equal to distance by speed, we can say, right, which will be equal to 360 by 6 minutes. So it will go 6 6 are 36 and 0 is equal to 60 minutes, and you all know that 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour, right? So is equal to 1 hour, you can say. So you can say hence the elevator will take 1 hour to reach a depth of minus 350 meter, or simply we could have said to reach a depth of 350 meter below the sea level. That's also correct. So I hope you have understood these questions. Practice out the other questions. Try to solve them on your own. Keep smiling, and thank you.